How's my makeup?
Good.
Good.
And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and welcome to the Tom Chenault Show. I hope you are all having an unbelievable day. It is raining and snowing and miserable in Colorado. So wherever you are in the world, I hope it's better than this weather. But guess what? We have got an incredible show for you today. I will never forget the first time I ran across this guy seriously. I knew he was just incredible, but I was trying to recruit, I thought, a guy named Rod Smith, famous wide receiver at the Denver Broncos. So I walked down there with my briefcase full of stuff, and he looked me in the eye and he said, "You don't have any idea who my mentor is, do you?" And I said, "No." And he went on to tell me about cultures, about systems, about upline support, about teamwork, about history of network marketing. And he said, "You know what? I learned network marketing from Holton Buggs. I learned the study of money from Robert Kiyosaki. And I want you to know something, Tom Chenault. You got a lot to learn to catch up with that guy." And you know what? He was 100% right. I've been chasing Holton forever, just talking to him. I've wanted him on this show about like David Letterman wanted Oprah Winfrey on his show. And finally today we've got him, and he's got his makeup people and they're doing all this kind of stuff, and he looks like $1,000,000. So he's down in Houston, Texas. One time, it was so funny. I was at a huge event, the Association of Network Marketing Professionals, as a matter of fact. And I was on stage and someone had said something rotten about something Holton was doing. And I said, "That just can't be true." And I said, "Let's call him." And I called you from the stage, Holton, and you answered the phone. You were in South America. And I said, "Is this true?" And you said, "That's the biggest bunch of horse manure I've ever heard in my life. Of course it's not true. Thanks for calling. I got to go back to work. But every time I've ever called you over the years, you picked up the phone and had nothing but integrity." So everybody understand this today. Today's show, he comes on. The pre-show, we're talking. He said, "Nothing's off limit, Tom. You can talk about anything you want. I love this profession. I love the people of this profession. Game on." So with that said, Holton Buggs, how are you, buddy?
Man, I'm absolutely fantastic. Fantastic, man.
We are honored to have you aboard. And one of the guys that got me going in the conversation when I was a little bit nervous about having you on was Richard Bliss Brooke. And he said, this guy's got a history, a sense of the history of network marketing and a respect for it at a level I've never seen before. So talk about that a little bit, Holton. Where the heck did you come from, and how did you get to be so all world wise on this profession?
Well, first of all, Tom, I'm honored to be here. And when you say you've been wanting me to be on the show, it's over for me. So you've made my day already. Okay. So I appreciate that. But, here's the thing I'll tell you. I never set out to be a historian or much of an expert on a history of network marketing. But my journey started in 1990, September 1st, 1990. And I was a freshman in college. I got invited to a meeting, and it was about, guy asked me, did I want to make some money? And I'm like, of course I want to make some money. I'm a college student. And so I go to this business meeting. He says, dress in your business attire. Well, I was planning to be a professional football player. That was my business. So I dressed like a football player. All right. And I show up at this meeting, and here it was, maybe 200-300 people, and talking about X professions. And I was a former pharmacist, former this, former that, former doctor, former teacher. And I was wondering, how do these people get this former, and why are they saying retired? There were some of them in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. And when they rolled out this compensation plan and this thing called network marketing, I had never heard of it. And that's how it began. And so I struggled financially for the first 7 years, never making more than $500 a month. And in the first 7 years, but what I did is I believe I was taught by some of the best. That company was Amway. And I learned culture by not even understanding that it was a culture. It was modeling knowledge. So I learned what I saw without even unconscious competence. And then later on, I understood what it was that I had learned. And I developed an insatiable appetite for this industry and how it worked, why it worked. And I still, to this day, I still have a very strong appetite for learning and understanding.
So which one of those Amway guys was it all of them? Was it from the DeVos and Van Andel or whatever his name is to Dexter to Bill Britt? Which one of those people did you really glom onto and really learn the skills from?
Well, I was in the Britt system and Britt Worldwide. My upline was down through Rex Renfro, and there was a couple people that I just caught on to. Miller at the time, he was a Crown Diamond. He was a former attorney. Another gentleman who was an engineer who resonated with me because I was going to school for engineering. His name was John Crow. And I believe John Crow to this day is probably the wisest person in network marketing history and knows and understands how to build networking probably better than anybody on this planet. And then for inspiration of knowing that I could do it, it was a gentleman by the name of Larry Winters, who was a former car wash manager and, became hugely successful in that business. So those three really did it for me.
So what's going on with you now? So you've taken those same skills and you are, network marketing is changing rapidly. And you've been through 4 or 5 different iterations of network marketing companies up to today. Off the top of my head, I can see Amway, I can see Organo, I can see the crypto deal, I can see where you are now. There might have been a couple more in between, but at the end of the day, has it really changed that much? Or is it just basically the same thing, which is fundamentals, and sticking to your story and believing what's coming out of your mouth?
Well, there's 2 parts to the industry that people have to realize. There's the participant part, which is the distributor, and that part of the game has never changed. I think it's still the same as it was back before. The same techniques that I learned way back that I taught, I still teach them to this day. People see me speak on stage and they say, well, you're consistent. You're saying the same thing the last 15, 20 years. However, the industry has changed, and it's not just network marketing. It is business and people in the industry, and what we have access to and information has changed dramatically. And so, yeah, it's been about 7 companies in the last 29 years that I've been involved in network marketing. And I did something crazy that I said I would never do. 2 things. I said I'd never get involved in travel, and I never own my own company. Why would I do something stupid like that? I make way too much money to be bogged down in an office. And lo and behold,
here you are.
In March, I launched my own company in an industry associated with travel. So I tell people, be careful what you say.
And
I hope I'm coming through good. Am I coming through good, or am I delayed?
No, you're popping out. You're popping out a little bit. They're working on it, but I can ask you some questions and you're fine. I mean, don't you get stressed out about it, and don't do anything. We're happy to have you just like you are. So so going after it with the various different things that you've done have boiled down basically to going after it. And at Amway, nobody could build Amway. You built it. At Organo, I mean, that was a coffee. I don't know the 7, but the various things that you embraced, it has a lot to do with the product, but it's got more to do with the culture and the systems and the people that believe you from every fiber of their body. And that's what you've been able to create. The travel deal is exploding everywhere because Holton said so. And don't you believe that 99% of the magic is the speed of the leader?
You're right. I mean, that's 99% of the magic. When I built Organo, I didn't believe in coffee. I had never had a drink of coffee in my life. Didn't understand the coffee culture. Didn't understand what it was really all about. What I did know was that I had found a product that I did not need to explain. And when I found that I had zero explanations, it meant that I could duplicate very fast. And that's why I got involved in coffee. But it's all about the leader. I never forget when I joined YTB. I had no idea I was going to travel at that time. I did a meeting at my house, all right? And I invited about 63 people over at my house, okay? 63 people. The company. I have no idea the industry. I didn't know anything. I just knew I was going to launch something. So I do this meeting and I'm promoting my belief system. I'm promoting culture. I'm promoting the future of what I'm about to do. And I take out these paper applications. There's no company name on it. It had room for your name, social security number, email address. And I said, put your credit card number in there and leave room for $500 because whatever company I find, I'll promise you, one kind of way, 67 applications got turned in. And so it had nothing to do with the product. And I'm not saying products are important.
Okay, we're going to take a break.
But if you're going to build a major big business, it has everything.
Okay, so let's take a break. And so stick around right here, Holton. Marianne's going to help your people with your internet connection. And we are going to go to a break right now. So stick around. This is the Tom Chenault Show on the Genesis Communication Network. We've got Holton Buggs, who is a beast, and we love him because of what he's created. He is a leader of leaders out there. So stick around. We're going to be right back right after this, and he's going to work on his internet connection a little bit. Hello, Adrian Chenault.
Hello, hello. This is exciting.
It's good to have you here, man.
It's good to be here.
So what's going on in the world of contactmapping.com these days?
Yeah, so lots of exciting stuff happening. I think the first thing we should talk about today is that we have a really cool webinar coming up on Thursday, the 7th. And I think your audience would really like to be a part of it. So what you want to do is go over right now to contactmapping.com/webinar. And let's talk a little bit about that. So the title of the webinar is how to generate your own luck and leads in the age of digital networking. And really what that means, that's a lot of words. What it really means is that I believe there is luck all around us just waiting to be tapped into. And the luck is in the form of all of these people and all these connections that you're just ignoring the gold that is sitting inside your phone.
Right.
And if you would just have a tiny bit of organization around touching base with people and like literally not even having anything to say half the time, if you just show up, magic starts happening.
Right. And the name of the game is all you people are trying to buy leads from these cornballs that resell you leads like every day. And it's wonderful, except you're buying leads from everybody that sell you the same leads. So the one you paid, you're going, this lead's really a good deal. It was $5. That's because it was $10 yesterday to somebody and $15 the day before that. And basically all it is a watered down principle. And I'm sorry to tell you that, all the leads people, but you don't need leads when you start becoming your own walking, talking leads group. And you can walk into a BNI meeting, you can walk into any meeting, and you can take over when you understand that taking your agenda out and putting your agenda in and being interested instead of interesting, gathering up information that you're going to develop a relationship with that human being, and you changing their life because they felt better having met you than they did when they got there. That's when leads start developing and turning into something real, right?
Yep. And so here's the thing. We're going to charge a lot of money for this webinar, right?
I don't know. I hope so. He talked about $500.
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah. So if you're watching today, we're going to give you a very special deal.
What is it?
Of $0.
Zero, free?
It's a free webinar.
Okay, good.
But you know, I joke about that. These webinars are unbelievable. And the last 2 of them that we have done, we have both times literally gotten multiple phone calls and messages from people saying, I don't know how you knew how badly I needed to hear this, but you've changed my life.
Yeah.
And that's who we are. That's what we want to do. And contact mapping is going to fit inside of that for you because it's going to change your life. And that's the whole mission of this thing. And we're creating a total package around it. So contactmapping.com/webinar. It's on Thursday, November 7th. It's at 10 a.m. Pacific. If you can't watch it live, it's no big deal. Go register anyway. We'll send you a link to watch it afterward. It's not on Facebook or anything like that. So you got to register if you want to see it, but contactmapping.com/webinar.
What's the website? One more time. We got it. All right. He's kind of he's one of those guys that tells you.
People are listening on the radio. I'm not talking.
If you're driving in your car, www.contactmapping.com/webinar. We're coming right. We're going to go back right now. So you're out of here. And we're back, everybody. We are with Holton Buggs. This is the Tom Chenault Show. I hope your hair is on fire. I hope you're as fired up as me. I apologize for those technical difficulties. Those are on me. And Holton Buggs, I am telling you, he had he launched his company and he knew that I wasn't a prospect for that. But he had this big party at his house and Chris Smith went and Rod Smith went and all these guys I know. And I was out of town and I saw that party and I saw that culture and I saw that belief in those people's eyes. And I saw the numbers that came out of taking a lot of people and getting them excited about something. And I know it works. And I know it is what this profession desperately needs. It's somebody to stand up and say, it's worth it. There is change possible and you can do it. Right, Holton?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. And it was, very successful launch. It was needed. And, I'll share this with you, Tom. I got a phone call. I never forget. It was Hurricane Harvey. I happened to be in Las Vegas. I get a phone call and it's Les Brown. I answer my phone. I'll never forget. I'm in my hotel room. And Les Brown says, in that distinguished voice of his, what are you up to? Why haven't you written a book? And I'm like, Les, I'm just not into that. I'm not into writing books. I don't speak. I don't do a lot of these radio shows. I'm into building. I'm a builder. Okay. And he says, no. He says, what you know can't die with you. You've got to go get a book. So he sends me this lady. He says, I've got somebody who's going to write it. Get on the phone with her. She's going to interview you. She'll write the book. He gives me the lady. I get on the phone with her. And it's now 2 years later. My wife's book is finished. I still haven't written the first page. But what I told him is this. Here's where I'm going. I told him, I said, I'll write the book. And what I'll do is I'll make this book my gift to the industry. Because the industry has blessed me with so much, I'll give it back. And I just never felt it. And when I launched iBoomerang, it was more really what I felt a gift to the industry of network marketing, of something that I believe that needed to be different. I see the industry changing so fast. I see Blockbuster and many of the network marketing professions in here with Netflix is coming around. And I said, I wanted to do something refreshing. And that was really my soul. That was my purpose. I didn't have to, didn't need to, but I think the industry really needed something that was going to be different. And that was why I launched.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So obviously you've got a virtual product inside of iBoomerang. It's nothing tangible. It's not coffee. It's not the soap from Amway or whatever you bought there. It's something that people buy, they embrace on the internet. They're helping people with travel. That's the whole premise of the whole company, correct?
Well, that was the intro. That was phase one. Travel is, everybody thinks we're a travel company, and that's what's unique. I would never have gotten involved in network marketing or started a company if it was travel, because I say it from stage to this day, the way travel has been done, you can't make any money from it. It becomes really a pyramid because you can't make residual income from it. What we wanted to do was something unique and something different. And that was really develop something that today's consumer could benefit from and the way consumers today buy. Because many companies that I see, and you know me, I've never criticized companies individually, but companies today are nothing but the Atari repackaged in a PlayStation 3 box, and we're calling it new. And when you look at the way our profession has progressed, it's definitely has changed, drastically. And the information that are at the fingertips of customers is much more abundant. See, back when I got started, you and I got started, you tell a person about your product, they had no other place to go get information or confirmation except from you. And today you tell a person about your product, they don't have to take your word for it. They take their cell phone, go Google your, find it 70% cheaper and go buy it from that particular place. Well, network marketing is doing the exact same thing where customers' buying habits are completely different. And so I wanted to cater towards a habit that was changing versus forcing a product or a story on a customer that would have a product marked up 7 to 10 times just so we can afford to pay commissions, and they can go get that same product at their GNC much cheaper. And so I said, this is changing. This is going to change. And I said, I no longer want to be, because I considered myself the #1 hypocrite in network marketing. And I said, I no longer want to be that hypocrite telling stories of you can build a residual income and pass this income on to your children's children's children, when in 29 years, I just haven't seen anybody's children's children's children inherit their income. But I sold that story to millions of people. And I said, it's time to make the story true instead of just saying something, because when you know better, you have to do better. And we just made a difference. And now it's going great. I'm not here on your show to promote my company. We're doing fine. I thank you for the pub, but we just wanted to do something different, and it's refreshing. And it's refreshing to see that so many non-networkers are part benefiting. And we just re-engineered this profession, and the way we treat our ambassadors. What my goal is that every company, we don't want to be the only ones doing this. We want company after company to take notice and say, this is the way you treat distributors. This is the way you treat customers. And we're hoping that they follow suit. So we're not trying to be the only ones out there on an island.
All right. We are on regular radio. We are on the Genesis Communication Network. Thank you, Ted Anderson, for letting us be on. We're coming back right after this. It's the Tom Chenault Show on the Genesis Communication Network. And we're back.
Hey, Holton.
Say hi to Holton.
This is exciting. Poor guy, his internet wasn't working last time, but this is so cool to have you on the show.
So Holton, this is my little boy, Adrian. He's 3. And so he's very, very big for 3 years old.
So Adrian, you can hear me now? Do I sound pretty good now?
Oh, yeah, you're great.
You're loud and clear, man.
Night and day difference.
Well, you wouldn't believe which internet I'm on right now.
Your cell phone.
Yes.
You're ported to your cell phone. Yeah,
that's right.
You got the pipe Wi-Fi coming into your house, and it does it. That's what happens to us all the time. And it's a nightmare. We got like $9 million worth of equipment in here, and we're hostage to a pipe, and it doesn't make sense. But
it doesn't make sense.
So what? So that's a very good segue. Should you have all your contacts in Facebook? Should you have all your contacts in LinkedIn? Should you have all your contacts in Salesforce.com? Or should you have all your contacts in your company app? No, because they will chop your head off when you leave, or they get pissed off at you. You've got to have your contacts under your own control, right?
It's the craziest thing in the world. And, even somebody, the top level of success, Holton is like the poster child for somebody who's done it. And, you've been in different companies, you've been different industries, you've been different things, and it's not like you're stealing people from one company to the next, but you have relationships with these human beings. They matter to you. And if you put all that stuff in a Facebook or in your company app or someplace else that somebody else has any control over, and it's not all yours, you are playing a dangerous game with what is really your most valuable asset.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing.
I agree. 100%.
It is so sad. And you think it's secure.
Yeah.
And you think you have it protected. And how about all those people that work at the pharmaceutical company and the solar company? We had a guy on here that's had thousands of people in his phone at the solar company, and they came and wiped him out, and he left with 3 contacts in his phone. And it's just unfair, but they believe they own your contacts. And I'll tell you, as long as I'm, and I'm a train wreck, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been fired 500 times, but I've been rehired 501 times because of my contacts, man. You couldn't afford not to hire me, even though you knew it was a hand grenade with the pin pulled. Yeah. They hired me knowing there was an explosion coming, and all they wanted to do was fire me before it happened, which never happened. So I got them all with shrapnel. But the name of the game is fun stuff. Why'd you tap me on the leg?
So Holton, I love that $500 check story, because I think what that speaks to is the kind of impact and the kind of influence that you have been able to create with people and the kind of trust that they have put into you. So how have you created that kind of relationship with people that would have them write you a $500 blank check because they knew you were going to take care of them?
Number one, it is you work to earn the trust of the people who follow you. And I've always been of the mindset that, that at the top of the food chain, what we do is it's our job to go work for those at the bottom. And so many have it backwards, whereas they're at the top and they think everybody should serve them. And you earn that trust when you go out and you serve people, and you do it over and over and over again. You just develop a reputation for doing it. And so your authenticity is where that's what people buy. And so they bought my belief. I didn't sell them on a pipe dream. I didn't tell anybody they're going to become a millionaire. I told them about what I was going to do, what I had done in the past, and what the future was going to be like. And that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. And it was a great success story.
That's awesome. And your crew. And I'm sick that I'm going to talk about this on the commercial, because in fact, I'm not. I want to wait a couple seconds.
No problem.
Throw a couple more things, because you just said something profound.
Yeah.
So talk about that. So just say contactmapping.com or something.
Yeah. So go check out contactmapping.com, because it's going to because what it's going to do is it's your job to be authentic, but it's also your opportunity to turn that authenticity into the kind of results that Holton has, and you need a system to do it. So go check out contactmapping.com.
So go check out contactmapping.com.
Beautiful. You got it, baby. All right. We are back. It is Tom Chenault. It's the Tom Chenault Show, brought to you by Genesis Communication Network and contactmapping.com. And we are with Holton Buggs. And during the last segment, he said something really, really profound that I want to take a little farther. He had 67 people to his house. And at the end of the day, they all enrolled into an idea and a belief that he had. And they actually wrote, he wasn't sure where he was headed yet. And they all wrote blank checks for $500 for him to get involved. And I want to take that one step further, because I've always had charisma like that. And when I was drinking, I was able to get people to do exactly that, but my intentions were not pure, and I took people off of cliffs. And here's what I love about Holton is that crew that showed up that day, and all those people wrote that check because there was integrity behind the charisma, that they knew in their heart of hearts that they were going to get more than $500 worth of value. So they shot him that $500 check, investing in Holton, not the deal. And pretty much that's what happens in network marketing, all of you. That's why you have to have the skills. You have to have the rigorous self-inquiry where you look inside of yourself to say, I am taking responsibility for these people's lives. They're handing me $500 and their heart to take them someplace they've never been before. And that's what you did that day, Holton, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it is. But I tell people, Tom, that integrity is not something that you can purchase, but it is something that you can lease. And this is why I'll say that, is because people meet you all the time. And I let groups know, I say, guys, you just met me. Don't go back and tell everybody I met HB. We took a photo and he's got all of this integrity, because you don't know me. Integrity, you'll find out a person's integrity when you go through something with them. And so that's the lease process. You can't buy it all up at once. And so, but you can put it on layaway. You can lease it. And so I had already had history under my belt with people and that credibility that was there. And they had no memories at all of me ever lying to them, taking anything from them, or misleading them. And so I was able to do that. And that's where your success is going to come in network marketing. As you build your credibility with people, it's not going to come because you found the greatest product, that cures the world's problems, if you know what I mean.
I agree with that 100%. And you guys, the road gets more narrow on that. When I first started on the word integrity and being my word and not lying to people and all that stuff, it was a pretty broad berth. But as you get older and as you get more real, it gets more narrow as you do more personal development. And as you recognize the responsibility of having people in your life that are literally relying on you with maybe their last $500, $400, $300, $200, $10, $5, $1. This is serious business. This is the last frontier for an entrepreneur. But I'm telling you one thing right now, we do not want to abuse that with pyramid schemes or anything like that. And the reason that your iBoomerang and your belief right now is where it is from your core. You believe it's the next frontier for you to change lives, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, and and I don't mind talking about this one. Right before iBoomerang, I started a consulting company. I was a little frustrated. I had been very successful and hit some peaks that very few people are able to experience and witness. And I'm all great. And I started a company to really do things across so many different company lines. And the first company that I consult for was a cryptocurrency company. And everybody, it was this, wow, I can't believe HB's involved in crypto. Well, I was the consultant trying to get them out of crypto and into services. And so how all of this came about, I tell people that my two biggest failures ended up becoming the two biggest successes I've ever had in my career. And the crypto company was, I lost more money trying to help that company. It wasn't even my company, but I lost more money trying to help that company launch. And what happened was, it's like you said, that integrity piece. So I brought them a technology, which was this travel. I gave it to them for free, didn't want anything from it. And I never forget talking to some of their reps. And those reps loved that product at first. And 1 month later, they called me back and said, get rid of it, because they couldn't raise capital for coin purchases or whatever it was that they were trying to do. And I said, well, I'm trying to make you legal. And here's what they said. I know, but we don't want to be legal.
Bye.
And that was when I said, listen, everything that you've offered me, every package that I have, keep it, don't want anything. I left the same day. And next thing you know, I took that technology that I had given them, and I had no idea that I had a pot of gold in my hand. I just never recognized it because I never really liked the travel industry. And so, but when you hold on to your integrity, I believe that you'll always come out and find the right answer. And that's what my company was a result of.
So in the Organo Gold days, I'm reading a text right now from somebody that wants to understand the income that was portrayed by you wasn't from the comp plan as much as it was from the sale of tools and all that stuff. But somebody wrapped that up like you were making all this dough out of the comp plan. And I never heard you say that. Would you speak to that a little bit? So
yeah, you know what?
I'm trying to shut a guy up right now.
Yeah, well here's the thing. Sometimes people choose not to believe things that they can't perceive for themselves.
Yeah.
I had one position. I didn't have a second one. My wife didn't have one. I didn't do the 5, 6, 7, 8 positions like you hear a lot of people. One position. My money came out of the compensation plan. And when I became a on the corporate end, later on, they start giving me an override. I still own 10% of the shares of the company. But here's the thing, Tom. I own 10% of the shares of the company. Guess how much money I made in distributions? 11 years later, zero. Not one single dime has been paid to HB from that. Tools from the company. Now, I'll tell you, if you want to take a look at it, I'll tell you my biggest income from it. It was a $247,000 loss from doing an event at the Toyota Center, because everybody thinks you make money on events. It's the biggest misnomer. Guys, I lost $247,000. We had 12,000 people at the Toyota Center, but it never was a loss, because what my goal was if I took that 247,000 and I poured the best event that anybody could have ever come to, and the people looked around and they said, how in the world did he put this event on for $149? Guess what happened? My check started going up, probably about $50,000 a month after that event. And so it was an investment, and that's the way I looked at it. But from a tools perspective, you can make money from tools. That's never been my business model. Never been my business model. So any income that's come from these lips has come from the sale of coffee,
So I want to talk about your crew a little bit, because I have been around your crew, and those are the most driven, the most loyal, the most focused, the most hardworking group of guys. And, they went hither, thither, and yon, and now I think they're coming back a little bit after some stuff went down. But I am telling you, during the height of it, I could talk to any one of those guys and hear the exact same story every day of the week. And these were rock star guys. How did you, Holton Buggs, get that kind of loyalty and belief out of those type A people to go down one level to their type A people and take that through their organization?
Tom, when I started Organo, there was three criteria that I used to choose the company, first of all, because I looked up and I said, I'm sick and tired of choosing these bad companies. So instead of me choosing them emotionally, let me set a criteria to choose it. And these are now principle-based decisions. Number one, I wanted to make sure that the company's leadership had not been completely cemented in. Number two, I wanted to make sure that the product was affordable for the masses. And number three, I wanted to make sure that a non-participant, that my income, after 18 to 24 months, a person's income from non-participants, which are customers, would be greater than the income from the binary or joiners. And so what I did is I said, I will not approach anybody with 6 or 7 figure experience in network marketing. I'm going to start this because it's simple, it's coffee, and I'm going to build a culture that I'm familiar with. And so I used John Maxwell's philosophy, and that was, I'm going to build from the farm team. I won't go after any free agents. Why? Had I started with 17 people who had made $1 million before, each one of them would have come and told me, hey, HB, here's how I made my 15 million. I've got the 8-step program. Person 2 say, hey, listen, I've got the 6-step program. And the next thing you know, you're starting your company and it's already divided. You're defeating the purpose of network marketing. But I started with people, the best people for me to coach and mentor still to this day. Give me somebody who's never made more than $5,000 a month. And I had a few of those people making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 per month. Why? They were open. And they did not have a success story or a secret to their $1 million income because they had never made it. And so when you take those people and you get them to 5, 10, 20, 40, 50, 100, $200,000 a month, and then you're still true to them, and you earn their respect and that loyalty, then they'll walk on hot coals for you. And guess what? Even though many of them went separate different ways, we still have great relationships. Why? Because I don't believe in commissionships versus friendships. Commissionships are when somebody's in my group and they choose to leave my company, I destroy their reputation, I destroy them because they're no longer making money for me. That's a commissionship, and I don't believe in that. When people left Organo, for whatever reason or whatever company they left to go towards, many of them, we had great conversations. I wished them well, and we kept in contact still to this day. And that's why several of them now, because a greater opportunity came around, they came back. I didn't have to call them. I didn't go and call people to join iBoomerang. I didn't. I still have not made the phone calls at all. But because, like I told you, your integrity is always on lease or on layaway. And And those payments I've still been making with them. It's not that I'm, you have to be this perfect person. I'll make a lot of mistakes, but they all know, hey, listen, here's what I don't have to deal with HB. If he says something, he's going to do it. If he says he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it. I don't have to worry about him, shopping my organization, shopping a deal, placing people above me. I just don't play in what I call some people call it the professional network marketer's game. I'm that guy who wins with the little guy. I don't call them big networkers.
All right, we got to take a break. We're going to keep you on, Holton. There's a guy out there in the world that we're going to bring on with us right after this.
Sure.
He's a protege of yours who has built $1 million income, being your twin brother from another mother and another company. And I love the guy, and he begged me to come on. And I said, I'm going to surprise him and actually do something with you both. We're coming back right after this on the Tom Chenault Show. And we're back.
Tom, I'm going to take a quick break as well, okay?
Yeah, go. You're on your way.
I'm going to freshen up my makeup.
All right, baby. Hello, Lewis.
Oh, man.
Unmute him.
My twin. My twin. Come on, man.
How are you?
Man. Oh, gosh. Any better, I'd be perfect. Thank you, Tommy. This is such an honor and such a blessing. Thank you so much, Tommy. Appreciate it.
What are your 3 favorite words?
And Adrian, thank you. What are my 3 favorite words?
Yes.
I love Tommy. What is
No,
it?
contactmapping.com.
You got to set me up better. You got to give me that pitch right. Okay, contactmapping.com. Yes.
What do you think of contact mapping? You've been messing around with it.
I love it. And you know what? I want to jump on that webinar, definitely, because there's a lot of great information. Adrian has provided a lot of great information. So I want to jump on it. I know that you guys are working. I know you guys are getting this off. And when it's in Espanol, I know it's going to be a big, big, big difference in our organization.
Si, senor. All right, take it away. What do you want to say?
I'm just excited. This is going to be fun having these 3 guys on here.
Yeah, it's webinar.contactmapping.com. Contactmapping.com //what/. Okay, the reason I do all that is because if I mess it up, it locks in your brain. I am doing everything to lock things in your brain. Holton Buggs, meet Luis Arriaza, huge earner out there in the world, who every time he's mad at me, he drops your name on me for credit. So I don't dare argue with him. Holton,
Luis, man, it's my pleasure to meet you.
Man, let me tell you this: if I would receive $1 for every time I use your name, I'd be a multi-billionaire. Honestly, your name comes up in almost every leadership, every training. My boys, we're watching right now. My youngest, my 10-year-old comes. He says, "Oh, that's Holton." I said, "Exactly." So, thank you for. My mentor said this to me 27 years ago. He said, "You never know how far-reaching what you may say, think, or do today will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. It's better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. Get the big idea, and all else will follow." You, my friend, have lit millions of candles in a lot of lives, and I'm very, very honored to be speaking with you right now.
Oh man, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's always great to know, that your goals and your definiteness of purpose, to see it, come into effect. I think this is, for me, it all started when I set a definiteness of purpose in my life, and that was to affect the lives spiritually, financially, and personally of over 100 million people. And this was back maybe about 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And my life changed every course of everything that I did at that time. When I made that, when I pronounced that was my affirmation, or that was my definition of purpose in life, it shaped every path that I had gone through. And so glad to see that you're doing it and paying it forward.
Okay, so hang on a second. Thank you. I've got to sponsor you guys. Christmas, we're gonna go broke here.
It's all good. Check out contactmapping.com/webinar, and these guys need to talk. You guys get after it.
Okay, so on the show, we're gonna just have all of us play ham and egg. You can even stay here, Adrian. It'll be fun. Oh, he's gone. All right, you guys are boring. All right, quiet for 1 second. And we are back. It is Tom Chenault. This is the Tom Chenault Show. Now we have really exciting things going on because we've got Holton Buggs and Luis Arriaza, Dr. Luis Arriaza. And Dr. Arriaza has been an unbelievable guy in my life. He's one of those guys that is a student of the profession at a level that you cannot believe. And it is so funny because when we're talking, it's the greatest thing in the world because he never references me. He always references Holton Buggs or Bill Gould or Dexter Yeager or Bill Britt. It's never Tom Chenault. It always frustrates me so much. So I swore one of these days I can't get Dexter on here. I can't get Bill Britt on here. So I'm going to just say, here we all are. Let's punch it out. Holton just met Lewis. Lewis, talk about your belief in the industry, the profession, and the profound effect that Holton Culture Systems has had upon you and your organization. And I'm talking about Lewis a couple of months ago putting 2,500 people into a Super Saturday training because Holton and he said so. Pretty crazy stuff. Go ahead.
Well, you know, Tommy, before I answer your question, I woke up at 3:58 this morning and I send you a text pretty early, right before I jumped on the treadmill. And I said, I know you and I mess around a lot, but I want you to know that when I call you my leader and my mentor, it's very, very heartfelt. And I sent that to you this morning. So I love you and you are an icon. Unfortunately, someone great often isn't welcome in his own town. So because you are around so much, I don't think people give you the just due that you deserve and the notoriety that you deserve, but you've definitely impacted my life. You impact my life every day, Tom. Not just what you tell me, but by how I see you treat other people, you've impacted my life tremendously. So I love you very much. To answer your question, you know, Holton, listening to Holton right now is, it's not necessarily a confirmation, but it is just, it sounds so refreshing to hear someone talk so much about culture, to talk so much about tribe, to talk about really sewing into people's lives. Not only for the commission, of course, this is a tremendous opportunity to live a very lucrative life, but it's also a philosophy. And I love Holton's philosophy on how he builds. You know, he's a leader first, he's a doer first type of person, no matter where he's at, no matter how much money he's made. And I find that so fascinating. And, you know, we have really done our best to model our organization after something like that, where we are with our organization all the time. You know, Tom, we do trainings every day. We do leadership every day. We do high-level leadership. We teach neuroplasticity to the people. A lot of these people didn't even graduate high school. A lot of these people were just, you know, they were laborers at one time and they got the big idea. So a lot of this has to do with Holton and people that have had that mindset, that people that they've woven that thread of commonality in which we're going to build a culture and we're going to fuel this culture with a philosophy, science and art. And I believe that that's what makes this platform of network marketing so beautiful and so duplicatable when you do it correctly. So I appreciate this. This is I'm very excited to be here with you right now.
So changing with the times. I mean, Holton talked about that earlier in the show. I mean, Holton, all you're doing is taking the same skills that you learned since 1990, and you're just changing with the times to make sure that you're relevant all the time with nobody getting left behind, right?
That's really what it's all about. There's no new secrets. There's no new techniques. I mean, there's not one technique that has been taught in this industry that'll make a person a millionaire outside of building a friendship. If you learn how to build a friendship, I tell people, you build a friendship, you build a diamond chip. And that's, people don't want to hear it, but that's really the secret sauce.
Write that down. That's our contact mapping quote of the day. God, that is it. Thank you. And I before you go any farther, I want you guys to realize how not very smart this guy is. He's just like me. We were trying at the beginning of the show to figure out how to share our Facebook stuff. And finally, the women behind the men, Marianne and this other lady, finally just pulled her hair out and said, would you guys just talk about the weather? We'll figure out this. Because it's not about being some social media genius. It's about people and friendship, right? That's what it's about. I mean, that's what it's about. Are there certain things that we have to do from a business perspective? We have to take care of business, but if you take care of the people and if you take care of the relationships, the business is easy. This business is simple. My approaches are the same approaches. The things that I teach are the same things I've been teaching since 1990. So there's no new information.
at all. Really, it's just applying it differently now because of technology. So, but here's what I know is everybody on this call, everybody who's listening, you've been taught how to be a friend. You know that skill. It's just that we don't think it's important enough because there's no BV associated with friendship in the back office. And so most of us in network marketing are what I call BV bandits. So wherever the biggest BV is, that's where I work. And so if there's no friendship equals X number of BV, I don't work on friendships. I work where I can get paid. And when you work where you can get paid, that's called a job. But if you harvest friendships, you can build a legacy. And your security is not in your company. I tell people today, your security is not in iBoomerang. I have a guy he's already earned over $1 million. We just launched. He's already earned over $1 million. I told him, your security is not in this comp plan. Your security is in the relationships that you have with the people who help make up that $1 million that you've already earned.
Okay.
That's where it's at.
Hang on one second, because we're going to end this show right now. Thank you very much, contactmapping.com. We'll see you all next week on the Tom Chenault Show. See you all later. And we're back. Okay, the show's not over, just the radio show's over. So don't you two turn off your phone and go drink milkshakes or something. Let's keep this going for a few minutes.
Okay, no problem.
That is such rock star stuff. And everybody watching, listen to them. There's no trick here. It's hard work, loving like crazy, then loving more, and being with the people in front of you and letting them know that they can have a better life by following some simple principles. Right, guys?
And telling the truth.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. Tom, here's what I did learn. I'll tell you this. When I was younger in network marketing, I thought the bigger the story, the more traction that I was going to have to people. And obviously it does come with age and experience, but here's what I've learned. I learned just tell the truth. Number one, it's easy to remember.
Yep.
And people, it's duplicatable. it's duplicatable. And so I have just simplified my life. I've simplified my relationships. And because of that simplification, in every business that I have, and I've got other businesses, other companies that I own, those principles of simplicity, truth, and making people feel like they're a part of your family, that's our secret, if there's any secret that you call it. But that's all we do, and we don't have to practice it. It's not really a skill. It's a part of who you become.
And staying in contact. Just look at you and I. I mean, we've never been in a business together. We've never even met face to face. But every 6 months or so, I pop you a note and tell you I love you. And I love what you're doing. And you always respond and say, thank you, Tom. I love you too. And I go, you're smart. So it's awesome. So it's just unbelievable. Louis, say something. You're like a little teenage guy at the front row of the concert.
No. As I'm listening to yourself, Tommy, and Holton, it's correct. It sounds, it sounds so simple, but my mentor said this 27 years ago. He said, we're born to win, but we're conditioned to lose. So although the truth is very enticing, the truth is very sexy, the lie has been spread so far and so wide, the lie of that this is very difficult, that this is impossible, that no one can be wealthy, that we can't create millionaires overnight anymore, that when the lie becomes big enough, it starts sounding like the truth. So when you have a group of people that are telling the truth, it sounds as if they're lying. So a lot of this, for me at least, in network marketing, it's really about changing people's mindset. It's really about changing people's psychology and philosophy. And going back to what Holton said earlier, it takes time to do that. That's why, although there's many, many, many people in this industry, there are going to be those top people that are going to make a lot of money. And every company has them. There's going to be a lot of people that may not make a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that network marketing has failed, because we're helping their relationships, we're helping their marriage, we're helping them receive different perspectives on how to raise their kids. We're helping them with more time freedom. We're just helping them with different facets, different verticals of life. So Just like any other industry, I graduated with 104 chiropractors. 10 years later, 2 of us were millionaires. That doesn't mean the other 102 failed. It just means that they may not have applied that philosophy and that science of transformation. So you get someone like Holton, you get someone like these top income earners. They have a total mindset. Our goal, your goal, Tommy, is to impart that mindset, because when we get out there and we start telling people the truth, it gets a little challenging sometimes. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it bad. It just means it's a little challenging. So we have to thicken our skin a little bit, and it takes time to thicken people's skin. So I love telling people the truth. I also love teaching people a duplicatable system. So when they're out there fighting the wolves and fighting all the people outside that don't believe them and the people that are violently opposing them, they have something within themselves, a system that they can fall back on and say, oh, you know what, that's okay if my cousin says no, that's okay if my sister doesn't return my phone call, that's okay if we don't get invited to the barbecues or the birthdays. It's part of the system. It's part of the process. So part of it is really helping people trust the process. And there's definitely a process in becoming a top income earner in network marketing.
So Holton, how do people get a hold of you? Is there a website out there you want them to go to?
Man, if they go to holtonbuggs.com or on social media, just go to Holton Buggs on my Instagram and on my Facebook, and they can DM me, and that's how they can reach me.
And how about you, Louis?
Same thing. Dr. Louis Arias on Facebook and Louis Arias on Instagram. Absolutely.
All right, you guys, I love you and much respect. I'm in awe of you both, and it's been a great show, and I appreciate you guys very much. We'll see you both next time.
Thanks for what you're doing for our.
Thank you so much, Tommy.
Really appreciate it.
We'll see you later. Thank you. Contactmapping.com.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Holton.
Thank you.